Ask yourself, do you only have one name? So what makes you think God only has one name? Considering he is Alpha and Omega. So it's Alpha and Omega, that means he's ever living. So he let you know that he's Abraham in flesh. And he knew the same with Isaac. And Isaac became Jacob. And Jacob was considered the firstborn. Why? Because God fathers himself. Hence, the Holy Trinity is Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, God himself, also known as Saint John the Divine One. Don't forget, God has many names. So let's watch what fools are saying today, because they have a habit of changing up the story and then looking stupid on TV.
Father is the only true God.
Well, hold on, I want to have because you're trying to tell me what Christians believe. I'm a Christian, so you're right that no Christian believes that the Father and the Son are the same person.
Yeah, exactly.
Every Christian believes that the Father and the Son are the same true God.
What in the name of crack are you talking about? How could the Father and the Son be the same true God when there's only one almighty God? This guy is weird, man. So what's God's name? As for Jacob, thou choose him to thee. In other words, God is Jacob. Why? Because praise Jah, you people, praise the name of Jehovah. You are standing in the house of Jehovah, in the house of our God. Therefore, Jehovah is God. Jehovah is Jah. Make melody to his name, for Jah has chosen even Jacob for himself, Israel for his special property. So as you could clearly see, as for Jacob, thou didst choose him to thee. In other words, God himself. So who is Abraham? Abraham, him thou lovest, and unto him only thou showest thy will, and madest an everlasting covenant with him. In other words, Abraham lives forever just like God, promising him that thou wouldest never forsake his seed, and unto him thou gavest Jacob. So who is Abraham and Jacob? Abraham is father of many peoples, and he kept glory without stain. He observed the precepts of the Most High in his own flesh. In other words, Abraham is God in flesh. Isaac renewed the same promise because of Abraham, his father. Don't forget, God fathers himself. Hence, Isaac fathered Jacob. And Jacob, God acknowledged him as the firstborn and gave him an inheritance and a division into 12 tribes. So out of the 12 tribes, you're going to get Moses, because Moses is just another name for Joseph, who is the favorite son of Israel. So from him was to spring the man who was the favor of all, dear to God and men. So who is God? Saint John, the divine one. In another Bible would say divine one. In other words, John is just another name for God. John is just another name for Jah. Haile Selassie himself was considered John Smith. So let's watch what this fool is saying. The Father can't be the Son.
Right, but the thing is, he didn't say God is the only true God. He said the Father is the only true God, so that's still a contradiction.
He says you are the only true God. So Jesus calling God the true God is not a negation of himself also being true God.
Yo, what crack? What? He's telling you the true God is Israel. Jesus is not Israel. It goes from Israel, who goes by the name of Jacob, to his favorite son Joseph, to Jesus. Because it lets you know that Jacob is the father of Joseph, the husband of Mary. So Jacob, who goes by the name of Israel, is God. So Jesus can't be his own granddad. And he cannot be Christ, because Christ is called the angel of the Lord, while Jesus is the son of a man. Therefore, he's the son of a man and a woman, while Christ himself is just the son of God. So as God, Haile Selassie, I can make angels. Hello, pay attention.
Okay, I'd like to respond, but just please, when I'm responding, I'd like not to be interrupted just for like a minute, okay? Just so I can get my response clear. The problem is that he doesn't say God is the only true God. That's the problem. The problem is he's specifying the Father, right? Because when he starts off the prayer, he's praying to the Father. He's not praying to himself. You would have a point if he said God is the only true God, because then that way it would be referring to the divine essence. But he's clearly not referring to the divine essence, or else he would have said God. He said the Father. Because when he's praying, what does he say? Now, this is eternal life, that they may know you. So he's speaking to the Father, and he calls the Father this special title. He says that you are the only true God. He says that they may know you, i.e. the Father, the only true God. So I'm going to ask you a quick question. How many only true gods are in that statement?
Jesus, when he's in the sentence,
But he says
he says only true God, right? So he modifies true God, correct?
Yes, but it's talking about the Father. How can the Father be the Son?
There's no other true God. There's only one true God, right?
Abraham, Isaac, Jacob. Like, stop saying Jesus is God. Like, you just sound weird and you're just making Christianity look bad, yo. And you're just contradicting yourself because you don't want to admit to your folly.
Right?
And who is that?
Hold on a second. There's only one true God, right?
And who is that?
Answer the question.
Who is that?
Hey, Amir, you got
Abraham, Isaac, Jacob. Just say it. Abraham, Isaac, Jacob.
You're right. Hey,
you don't know what it is.
You already crashed out already.
You don't know what it is?
You guys weird, man. Ask yourself this.
Name me one prophet of the Old Testament who have never heard from God.
Why the Old Testament? Why should I?
Without the Old Testament, you don't have a book.
Why?
You don't have a religion without the Old Testament.
So you don't know where to put it?
No, sir. Without the Old Testament, you don't have a book. You don't have a revelation, my friend.
Why?
Where did Muhammad get all the revelation you have of the Old Testament? Oh, show me the Quran where it told him. Show me the surah that Muhammad says it from. Allah got that from. Find the surah verses.
Okay, go.
If you look up Allah's birthday, it will tell you Muhammad's birthday. And if you look up Muhammad's birthday, they're not even sure when he was born. But at the end of the day, Muhammad never spoke to Allah. Why? Because Allah is not a real person. This is what Allah is. If you don't know. Archaeologists find a statue of Allah that matches the description of the Quran and Hadith. Muslim God, two hands, both hands are right hand. Hello. Has one shin only. Has 2 feet. Has eye. In other words, Allah, who doesn't have a birthday, was never king. Therefore, it is written that God will become king, then hide his face from a wicked generation. Yet still, they want to say Allah, who never spoke to Muhammad, is God himself. So he was never king, and he didn't live amongst the people as God will.
They claim that the king died August 27th, 1975. Okay? Their official report was that the king died from natural causes. Okay, good. If you say the king died of natural causes in 1975, August 27th, why wasn't there a funeral the week after? Why wasn't there a funeral 2 weeks after? If the emperor died in the kingdom with everybody around him, everybody there, on August 27, 1975, by natural causes, why wasn't he buried a week later, a month later? Why wasn't the international world invited to His Majesty's funeral a week later, a month later, 2 months later, 3 months later?
Hello, because God can't die. He's an ever-living God. But you got fools like this. See this guy right here? He's obviously a mole who always want to defraud Ethiopia and give credit to everyone else.
Or in 1867, these two guys, Grenfell and Hunt, who were fresh graduates from Oxford University, Queen's College, they head over to Egypt to look for statuary.
Why would you go to Egypt to look for biblical stuff? Like, that makes no sense. When God says, leave Egypt in their ways.
Or monumental architecture, which was the standard for the time in Egyptology. They were looking specifically for manuscripts. And they end up going all up and down the Nile. They're running out of finances, they don't know what to do, and they stop in the city called Oxyrhynchus, and they turn to the garbage dumps. And they find 500,000 papyrus. Oxyrhynchus was this key center of learning. However, a lot of it is just what's sometimes called documentary papyri, where it's things like receipts, or it's things like communication from political officials. And lo and behold, this Greek looks like New Testament Greek. And so that's when we get this classification of koine, of marketplace Greek, of common.
Yo, just shut up, man. It's weird, dude, man. It's so weird. And this guy, like, they just, I don't know, man.
In any sense, Libya?
Yeah. So in the reality of the framework of the New Testament in which we're debating today, the New Testament says that Jesus is a God lower than the Father. Yeah.
Got you. All right. So I have a question for you. In Numbers 21, verses 5 to 8, it says that that the Israelites spoke against Yahweh and they spoke against Moses.
Yeah.
And then God's
Father and son. Yahweh is God. Moses is son. The name Moses, by definition, is son, son of. Moses and Elijah, because remember, God is Jah, were in the clouds together. In other words, they're angels. Contrary to Jesus. Jesus is not an angel. He's the son of a man and a woman. Angels don't have mommies. Hello, weird guy.
sent serpents to destroy them.
Yeah.
Who is Yahweh that they spoke against?
That's the Logos of God, as Justin Martyr and Irenaeus would say.
Nice. Okay. So you just gave me the debate. Is Yahweh the Most High God?
Yahweh in what sense?
Is Yahweh the Most High God?
Yeah, so when you're referring to Yahweh, the ineffable creator, the father of the Son, who doesn't interact with the world.
Who doesn't interact like your Allah. Your Allah never interacted with the world. So you want to think the real God didn't interact with the world, when it clearly states that God himself will become king, then hide his face from a wicked generation. Therefore, he interacted with the world. Let's read, man. They're out there somewhere. So what does it say? Jesus, the son of Josedek, from the house of David, out of the kindred of Phares of the tribe of Judah. In other words, Phares, also known as Perez, is one of the sons of Judah. So Jesus from the tribe of Joseph is not from the tribe of Judah, because his kindred is Phares from the tribe of Judah. So he himself cannot be from the tribe of Judah. So what does it say? Who is Judah? Perez, also written as Phares, was the son of Judah, the twin of Zerah. That makes Ashan the son of Zerah from the tribe of Judah. So Jesus is supposed to be here in the time of Ashan, which happens at the end of times. So to let you know, at the end of times, the king of all kings was born. I was born on the 16th day of Hamla, 1884, also known as the 23rd day of the 7th month, 1892, in the year of John. Remember, John is Jah. Not far from Harar, our upbringing was like that of the sons of ordinary people, and there was no undue softness about it. He was as was the case with the princes of that period, Haile Selassie I. So the real God has a birthday. The real God is called John, because it's a revelation of Saint John, the Divine One. Haile Selassie, name ends with 1. So what does it tell you? I, Abraham, prayed for the Sodomites, and Moses for the fathers who sinned in the wilderness, and Jesus after him for Israel in the time of Ashan. In other words, in the time of now. They're supposed to be here now, within these times. So don't forget, follow Jah, not man. And listen to this clown.
World, like Justin Martyr says and Irenaeus say and Theophilus say, then yeah, he's the Most High God. But if you're referring to Yahweh, when he appears and he talks to prophets and he does other things that are not allowed in the Platonic view, then that would be the Logos of God acting as Yahweh.
What? The real God lives among the people, man. So what does it say? He that liveth forever created all things in general. He governeth the world with the palm of his hand. He's the king of all. His majesty, the Lord. In other words, God himself was here from the beginning. Jesus and your Allah was not. Follow God, not man.